today is Rick Albritton. So I'm going to let Rick come on up and get started. That's going to go in now, so it's not going to be too
So they just asked me to talk about the high school, and you see a lot of construction, a lot of stuff has been going on with it. So I kind of want to talk about the planning process and some of the things that you'll see. That we had the teachers' input, we had community input on the building. Some of the things that were mentioned during that time frame. Number one was security. So we're going to start with a picture of the whole site and the way we've got it secured. Beyond that, the teachers wanted flexibility in their classrooms. They wanted more classrooms. In the old building, we had 2 science labs. Really, we have 8 science labs in this facility. So they're actually the size of the science lab is supposed to be based on TEA standards. Safety equipment. For example, we had a shower, but it didn't drain anywhere. So if anybody ever pulled it, well, we're actually fixed up the way you're supposed to be. Collaborative spaces, planning spaces, all those things we were able to get. The other thing was the high school, the auditorium. You'll see some pictures of the auditorium. The auditorium actually won't be finished until about August the 28th. We were actually supposed to get the building on June the 3rd. As you can see, we're not there. COVID-19, multiple other things. For example, the science labs, you'll see the millwork in place, but you won't see any tops on any of the tables. The plant that builds those epoxy resin surfaces burned down. So we had to switch vendors, and those are going to be delivered the last week of July. They're really at that point in the building where they're doing a lot of things. Things change very rapidly. You'll see flooring down in some places they're not. We'll just, if you watch my Facebook page, you've already seen this video. I haven't seen it this big. So this was taken last Friday. You saw it, the demolition of the high school is going very well. They're really about a month ahead on that. With COVID-19, we were able to clean the building out, and we started that in May. They weren't supposed to start that actually until June the 18th. So if you kind of see that the old building came in to right about here. And the plaza will come up, and you'll see it as we go through. We'll be able to see all the way to Bradford from the career tech building. That's a career tech, that's all career tech, that's a storage building. That's where the greenhouse will be. We'll have another storage facility out here. This road comes to Bradford, goes over to Buffalo. That's where the buses will come. They'll enter from Buffalo. This is an area that connects back to that street. So this is the ag storage building. This building is all, oh, that's great. Let's go. Yeah, no, I've got it. So this is a plaza, that's a pavilion. You'll see more of that in a minute. They finished, this is pretty much the side work. They're grading it for grass right now. The building footprint can come out to here, so that you would take this 2-story portion and you could add, by coming out to about here, an additional 20 classrooms in the future. Same way with the career tech building, you come in and just continue to add on both of those. So it's set for expansion if it's needed in the future. Cafeteria dock, you'll see a still picture of that in a minute. The cafeteria is in this section of the building. Culinary arts is in this section. The 2-story is all academic. The gymnasium area is here. Stars are back there. This will be the bus. This area is where they finish the pylons for the awning for the bus drop-off. So the buses will come in from Buffalo, drop the kids off and pick the kids up here. They'll walk in a hallway that connects to the academic wing on this side. Connects to the cafeteria right here. This little area is an outdoor dining area. A lot of outdoor things. The teachers wanted that ability. It'll have ornate fencing. That same fencing that's at the front of the stadium will be there, so the kids just don't have open access to everything. They'll be kind of locked in there. Not that they would ever leave. There's the gymnasiums back here. This is that bus entrance right here. The old music building is right there. We'll start. You can see how they're connected to the band hall. It's connected to the stage area. This is the auditorium. They've got the metal panel up everywhere except for on the auditorium on the final. They're installing it right now. Stage entrance. Another stage entrance. And that's a dock. It's just a fire exit. In the entrance, you can see the drop-off actually is going to be out here. This is a circle. It kind of emulates the campus, and we're trying to bring a little of the old in with the new. So there's a similar look there. So.
Are they going to cut the old buildings out? Are they going to cut that down?
Yes. All of this dirt comes out. It comes down to street level. So those two trees, I think it's a class of 64 bought those trees. If somebody wants to come dig them up, then y'all can come get them, but the school district's not going to pay for that tree removal. They're nice trees, amazing. We'll keep the tree that was over by the two-story, the old home ec or band hall. We'll keep that one. We hope that it's able to live, but the other two, we're taking about 7.5 feet of dirt out here. There's a little funny story. You know, this field back here at the back, if you remember, there used to be a hill that went out there. It was only half that size. Okay, you're going to have to wait a second. Sorry, I can talk all this. That's a good idea. But the dirt contractor just looked at the elevations and knew there was enough dirt on the site. The building itself is that they had to cut out 3 feet of select field, put that back in there, and then raise the building about 3.5 more feet. Most of the dirt on the site is under the existing high school, so they didn't have a place to get dirt. So they got the dirt back from our property and from Mickey Barber's property. There's a hole back there. Randy, you've seen it, I think, haven't you? It's about 25 feet deep, 100 feet wide, and about 150 feet long. So they'll take the dirt that's underneath the high school, and they'll fill that hole back up. But I told them if they'll leave us a flat spot, then they can use that dirt. So, when I was going to stop, this area up through this is a plaza that you'll see all the way back to the Career Tech building. The Career Tech building will have letters on it that say Gilmer Buckeyes, and it'll have the big G. The 3-story portion of the building right here, it'll say Gilmer High School. There'll be a little fountain, so parents will drop kids off here. Students will park in a parking lot in this area, and they'll enter the school from a door right here.
None of the kids park on the street anymore.
There should be no reason unless you're late. this is a pretty good idea of the footprint, but yeah, the kids, that plaza will extend right through here, and the parking lot will be over here, so the kids will park, they'll come up the plaza, and they'll enter right here. This will be parent parking and faculty parking over through here. But once the kids enter this parking lot, they're behind a gate. And so they'll be behind the fence all that time.
Rick, you may have already said this, but we have to cross the streets to go that.
No, the career tech building, it's part of the bond package, so we replaced the career tech building. It's really just amazing. Do what? We are remodeling that with the administration building. We're paying for that out of fund balance, save the money for it, so it is not part of the bond issue. So yeah, that parking will continue. There will be parking down here. This will all be filled back in with concrete, so this will all be parking. So you'll enter to come to a football game, that and walk into the stadium right there. This will be a handicap parking area, visitor parking. You get a pretty good look at the plaza again. So this is a pavilion, an outdoor pavilion. This sidewalk will come up. There'll be a road that connects back to Bradford, Buffalo. And then there's a plaza down here. We'll have a little outdoor stage right here. But we have to get a fire truck in. And so this is rated for a fire truck, and this plaza down there is so that he can do a U-turn and get out. So that's part of that whole process. Very good. This is the career tech facility now. And this is where I was talking about, if you remember, there was a hill that went out to about here. That's the old two-story portion.
That building right there, why have they taken so long to tear it down?
The small part on the outside, they're trying to build, they've got to get all the concrete off so that they can build that plaza. They've got to take all that dirt off first. And so they're leaving that for last because they've got to remove all the dirt from the plaza. They've got to get utilities in there. All the stormwater system goes through the middle of that plaza. So they've just staged it so they'll hit that part of it
Okay, I
last.
just wondered, because I mean, it's the last to go.
So you can again see, there's the plaza. I'll have Gilmer Buckeyes on it. And that's about all of that. So it kind of gives you an idea. The Career Tech building has got a welding lab in it. It's got a horticulture lab, and the horticulture lab is built just like a biology lab. It's got a veterinary science and animal science lab, again, just like a biology lab. It's got an industrial arts lab, which will do small engine repair. We'll do general construction, and we'll do some robotics. Then it's got a multi-purpose room, which I call that, when I show people the building, it's Sue's room. It's also the chili room. If you've ever eaten chili that the FFA serves, it's where they serve that chili. And then the welding lab is about half again as big as the old one. The old one was about 2,300 feet. The new one's 3,500 square feet. It's big enough to do 2 36-foot trailers a year. They do 2 right now, but they have to walk them in. They paint them in the lab. That's another, the storage facility that'll be north on Bradford will have a paint room in it, so that they won't have to paint in the welding room anymore. That's really not a kosher thing. We've been doing that apparently for a long time. So this is kind of gives you an idea. There's one change to this, but you can see the entire site is fenced. Right now they took this fence down. They're replacing it with a black vinyl fence. This will be an electronic gate, This will be more decorative fencing where you see the red. So you see the kids will come in here, that's an electronic gate. They'll park here, they'll walk over behind this fence, and then enter the building right about there. Same thing for football parking. Only the gates will be open, you'll come down, you'll park here, you'll enter the plaza, come up to the football stadium entrance here. So this is all fenced. And starts, we've got, this fence is in place. Come back around Dickie Barber's old homestead. We are not fencing all this. We're actually we cut all that fencing out. There's going to be kind of a curve right in through here. So, Randy, you can still kind of walk over there, but you're going to have to jump a 6-foot fence about right here. You can you can walk up the creek. That'll work too. So then we came down here, and this fence is already in place. One of the reasons we did that, once we got the grass on that field, we needed the fence to keep the hogs out of there. So this portion is already fenced. It comes up against this. There'll be an electronic gate for the buses here, and then it touches the building. And it touches the building here, so the entire site is secured with fencing. But this is just a picture of the entrance of it. It'll have the diamond G here and Gilmer High School. This is inside. They got the glass up on the storefront on the front of the building now, so the building is environmentally secured. I guess you could say that they've just kind of zoned that, and now the entire building has all the exterior doors and all the exterior glass work completed. That's just another picture, and I say this all the time. This area is a foyer. Notice that the foyer is very small. We didn't put a lot of money in the foyer. We put it all on the inside of the auditorium. So this is, architect calls it the mall, but the main entrance, when you walk in, you'll see this hallway. This is a little collaborative space up on the top in the second floor. It'll have glass on both sides. You'll be able to see the entire mall from there, but it's set up as a classroom. This wall, everybody asked where the pictures are going to be. This is going to create a timeline of the school district. We'll put pictures of the previous schools. We'll put those senior class pictures on this wall. And if you can imagine, from here to here is half of the building. We've got exactly the same thing on the opposite side. So we'll be able, I think, to take us to about 2,100, maybe further than that. We've got plenty of time. We're not going to be around. Some of y'all will be around. Not me. This wall matches the exterior on the other side of the building. This is the reception area, so you'll come in a door right over here. This hallway is that mall that I just showed you. There'll be a glass door. You won't be able to enter that building. You'll be able to come in this door. You'll be buzzed in by the receptionist. This is a little reception area. You'll sit in a waiting area. To get into her area, there's another door with a buzzer she has to open. And then the administration area is back here. You'll have to be buzzed in that. As an adult, this is the only way you'll enter the building unless we're having a public event. So all the work's going to be done in that administrative area. We're going to restrict access to the school itself, to the academic side. That's just a picture of the backstage. That's a proscenium. It's about the same. The opening for the stage is about the same size as the Civic Center opening. They're working on up high. You can see. I'll show you some pictures of that. The ceiling. They'll attach a sheetrock ceiling to that. So that's up high. Catwalk. This is probably my second favorite picture. Or anytime I do a tour, I brag about this as much as I can. This is the girls' side of a bathroom. There's 7 toilets in there. On the boys' side, there are 7 toilets. So that's one game bathroom. There are more toilets in that one game bathroom than the entire school at the high school. There are 4 sets of those in the campus. So there were 2 teacher bathrooms, and there are 10 of those in the building. So that's a major improvement. The flooring is an epoxy resin flooring. Every floor except for the carpeted areas in the building is just a wet mop. No wax in the building, period. So they're 30-year floors, and it's an LVT kind of flooring. So I'm just so proud. The kids will be too. That's another picture that I put up. That's the attendance office, so that the kids will enter here. If you're late, you're going to check in with Lynette right there. That's just a conference room. That's a black box theater. So up here there are about 30 seats in here, but that's his classroom. There will be a curtain that extends across the front, and they'll be able to practice back here in the black box. That's the administrative area. It's the flooring, just kind of an idea. It's an LVT flooring. That's the teacher workroom. That's the entrance to the library, painted. There it is with glass in it. That again, that's that mall wall that I showed you a minute ago. And where you see the wall is unfinished down here, there will be called a PLAM, a laminate system that's very similar to the system in the elementary. That's the nurse's room. I tried to show a little bit of depth in there. They were working. I couldn't really get that. This is self-contained. They have an exterior plaza that they can go out. There will be a fence over here. This is a little kitchenette so they can learn home skills. That's just looking out at their little area. Again, if you ever saw the self-contained room, it was in the bottom floor of the 2-story portion of the building, underneath the old band hall. Much nicer place. This is I always say this wrong way. I say it's a dance hall. It's not the dance hall. It's a stars room. So it goes from about 35 to 35. This wall will have mirrors on it. This is a little crow's nest that they can look down from above on. That's that classroom that's in the middle, kind of a collaborative space. That's the curtain in the gym. They've actually got the flooring down. I'll show you that in a minute. The gym is divided into 2 areas. They were coring the holes for the volleyball. So you can see now that the flooring is down. That's what it looked like before it was down. So this is a partition system, so you'll be able to separate, you'll be able to open this system, this space up, the 2 gymnasiums and the cafeteria. They're 4-foot partitions, so you can put about 1,800 people in here. It's a huge space, so hopefully if we have to go inside for a graduation ceremony, that would be a place you could do that. We'll do our career fairs in there. It's going to be a really nice big space. That's proud of this too. The district has never had an actual dock. That's a dock. There's a cafeteria. This is looking at from the other end of the mall. This is the cafeteria right here. Serving line, kitchen equipment. But that is the culinary arts lab. That's a cooking art lab for the culinary arts. That's her culinary arts storage room. The idea is for her to build a catering business, just side work. That's the plaza in the old days. This is the plaza yesterday. That's kind of their little area looking back. You can see the trees back there. That's buffalo. They poured the bottom of the pavilion yesterday. Back that way. This is a science classroom without the tops. That's horticulture exactly. This is a science room looking out from the 2nd floor. Just a typical hallway. This is that PLAM system that I was talking about. It's about 7 feet tall. This is the tack board area. Tack board. You can see this is a finished floor. No coding yet, code base, but that's a typical classroom. That's the display. Those are marker boards on the side, but it'll have a 64-inch Promethean board. That's a fully interactive TV. This is the health science room. Microscopes, medical equipment over there. This is a teacher workroom. This is a teacher workroom for the Career Tech Center. That is the horticulture lab, welding lab. workroom, science, safety equipment. You touch that one button and it turns everything off. There's our shower and fire blanket. This is a finished ceiling. Y'all really care about that? It's looking out. This is just a stairwell entrance. This is the library. Some of the demolition, and that's the back of the building. Questions? I went fast. Okay, I'm done.
Rick has agreed to be my program, which is July, the last week in July. And if everything goes all right, we will have our Rotary meeting at the school, and they are going to take us on tours of
We'll
it.
split up in about 6 groups, and I'll have somebody take you through.
So we'll actually get to have our private tour for that. So maybe everybody will be able to be for that meeting. Any announcements before we close? Anything? Anything going on? Phil, anything? Everybody? All right, if you'll stand.